Hey there, welcome back to Roll With It, BJJ and Travel Podcast, brought to you by Panda Odyssey and Cinemetu. This is Eva and Rob, and we have been talking about gear. Gear to travel with, gear to train, not just for jiu-jitsu, but there's people that do other kinds of sports, and you have to figure out certain travel gear, workout clothes. But
Yeah, it's always a big conversation. There's the big what do I bring with me?
exactly. And also, like, how do you pack it, you know?
Yeah,
With this last trip, I was really contemplating, like, carry on or backpack and all that stuff. So we're gonna cover all of that on this episode. And because we both do jiu-jitsu, should we go ahead and start with geese?
yeah, definitely. That's one big thing I've had conversations about with my travel friends is like actually I could backpack around the world with just a carry-on, no problem, if I didn't bring my training gear, right? Gis are a big factor in taking up space and weight. So unless you're really small or you have, like even just bringing one gi on and being able to bring everything on a carry-on, it's kind of difficult. I know I've had these conversations a few times with people about it, about like that's a goal, is be able to travel for a few months with just carry-on. But yeah, gis is definitely a big area on different types you can get to lessen the weight and space.
So there's like so many brands out there now. That we'll discuss about some in a minute. But something to keep in mind is the weight of the gi. The weight of the gi will make a big difference on
Mm-hmm.
what size you're taking, and then what type of gi, because there's different, like, lightweight gi, summer gis, that I like to call them summer gis. And a lot of people, like I've heard them call them summer gis because they're so much lighter. There's winter gis,
Yeah,
the double weave and all that stuff. So keep in mind that, one, you're gonna be carrying this thing, whether it's on your backpack, on your suit, or your carry-on, and if it's a double, right? It's called double weave,
which the like
like the
the
heavy
thick
ones.
weave.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a pearl weave. There's different types of classifications of it being gold weave or whatever. Um, but that's that thick raw cotton judo weave, right? Like that judo top. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, if
So,
you have something like that, it's going to be pretty heavy.
and then obviously the
Yeah.
size of the gi will make it to where you have less space or more space. I think I have
Yeah.
two of those, and I only use one of them, the Kings, and that's just because it's pretty dope. I got it at Europeans, and it was like a really cool design. So, but I
Yeah.
tend not to wear it as often because, one, it's freaking heavy. So unless I'm gonna do less rolls, but I want them to be a little bit more intense, and I need to add some weight, then I'll put that gi on. Other than that, those, for me, just sit in the closet, and that's why I only have two. I'd rather not spend the money on them. Um,
Yeah. I have a whole bunch of geese. Well, I had a whole bunch of geese, but I only use um, two right now. Two different brands, anyways. Three geese, but the inverted gear. I have two inverted gear geese, but they're like the lightweight ones. Um, because they have inverted gear has their armor series, which is their really thick judo top series,
uh-huh.
which I do not have. What I have is like their normal lightweight ones, or the 2.0 ones, I think they're called, that are a bit lighter top, and there's a ripstop pant, right? So they're lighter gi. Um, but when I'm traveling, the whole time I travel, I just use the Globetrotters travel gis, right? It's completely ripstop. It's like half the space, half the weight. They're not exactly tournament. They're not tournament, not competition qualified, right? They need that heavyweight or that pearl weave
Yeah.
weight top. But if you're just traveling and training, you can carry like 2 gis in the space of like 5 or 6 pounds, which would usually be 1 gi, right? So
Yeah, so I haven't been able to get a globe. I have a couple Globetrotter geese, like the ones I got from certain camps, but uh,
okay,
they're not necessarily like, I don't know. I could just never get it right with Globetrotters. Their sizing is weird and stuff for me. So the one
it's
I
that.
like super love is Sonable. I used to be all kings. I would only wear kings for like
Okay,
ever. Um, and I mean, obviously, I still have all of them. But it got to the point where I was like, okay, I want a new style, a new feel, something. I don't know. I need to change it up. It's not like I'm sponsored, so I can try other
yeah,
stuff. So I decided to go with Sonable. I just heard of them randomly, and when I looked them up, they were like super cheap, like half the price of most brands out there. And I was like,
that's cool.
yeah. So I decided I was gonna try one. So I can't remember which one. I have all of them now, but I can't remember which one was my first one. But I remember when I put it on, I was like, "Dang, this like fits perfect. The length, the width, especially." And then the thing is, for me, I always had to buy double the amount of geese because
Okay,
the top I needed a certain size, and the pants I needed a different size. And
okay,
the crappy thing about most companies is that they don't sell tops and bottoms separate. You have to buy the whole thing together.
yeah, it's
So,
set.
right.
Yeah,
So I was stuck buying 2 geese all the time. Like 2 different sizes. And when I tried the
okay,
Sonable, the whole thing fits. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's cool. That's like with me with inverted gear, right? Inverted gear is the only gi out there that I don't have to hem. Usually, I gotta hem the pants up like 4 inches, and I gotta cut the cuffs down
mm-hmm.
like 2 inches, right? Small body, no limbs, right? Panda size, panda shaped. So, as it happens, inverted gear is made for pandas, so it fits me perfectly. So, the A2H, right? But everything else, and yeah, like Globetrotters, I'm always cutting like something like 6 inches off the pants or something. Um, just like tatami though, tatami I find is the same kind of sizing, where it's kind of the long, slender size. So I mean, people who have the complete opposite sizing as me will love those brands, I guess. But in the end, it's whatever fits you the best. You gotta look at what you're gonna bring in terms of space that you have and limitations, right? I would not say bring any more than 2 gis, right? You don't need any more than 2 gis, but
and I think that depends on the length of your trip. I mean, if it's a month, I think you can get away with 1 gi for the whole month as long as you have plenty of Nogi
yeah,
clothes
exactly.
to train,
Yeah, if you're just training gi, then really just bring 2 gis, switch them out. You know what? If you're out of gis that day, take a break, go see some sights or something, do the laundry, come back, train tomorrow. But yeah, uh, you don't need to bring any more than that. Um,
Or another option is what I usually do is I take 2 tops and 1 pair of pants because the pants can dry overnight, but the tops don't.
oh yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah,
and that's why I like that brand specifically because they're thin but so durable that even if I train with 1 gi for the whole month, I mean, or even 6 months, like it will not get any wear and tear, like no actual wear and tear. They're very durable. So
yeah,
check out the geese. And I know this is, for somebody that's just starting, it's kind of a hard thing because you kind of have to go through these trials and errors and trying out all these gear, trying to figure out which ones are going to fit you the best. And, for somebody that doesn't have a lot of cash, it's kind of harder. So I would suggest to start with the cheaper brands, figure out the sizing, and then if you want a more expensive gi later on, then match those size what's it called, like the size chart references, and then try to match
Yeah,
it to the expensive one, you know.
yeah. I'll be honest. I really don't have too many expensive gis. Uh, uh, Actually, the one expensive gi I didn't even bring it with me. It's back at my parents' place. Yeah. I Because like to me, it's just about whatever fits right and feels good. I don't care about too much about uh, big name brands and spending big money on it. So,
Right.
and to me, inverted gear is always pretty cheap, right? It's always $100 or so. So, um, yeah. As far as rash guards go, um, that's something because I never did a lot of Nogi. I don't know you. I never did a lot of Nogi until I started traveling, and until then, I never really had any knowledge on different types of rash guards or shorts or anything. I was just like, whatever. I'll just grab whatever and train in it.
Oh, dude,
But
that's my bread and butter. But because I train, you know, because of my wrestling background, it was like
yeah,
I lived in rash guards all the time. Um, there's so many things you have to like nitpick at rash guards, and it all depends on again whatever you might like, you know, because there's there's one thing that I find more people like agreeing on, and that's the having the seams under the arms and the like the armpit area.
yeah,
Um, I know a lot of people hate that, and there's some brands out there that I guess were I don't really know what goes behind the scenes when making that until now that I'm trying to make my own, but um it's kind of a hassle when you're trying to put certain designs on it. So they will have that seam. So then you have to start finding like flat
yeah.
seams or certain ones that I don't I think which one was it? I think it was a Copenhagen rash guard was the one. It was super thick. I liked it, but it was super thick. But at least it didn't have the weird seam under the arm. If I'm not mistaken, that's the one that I realized it on the first.
We're talking about the Globetrotter one.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, and that's one thing is I did not like the Globetrotter geese at first, meaning the rash guards at first, because they were like a thicker, heavier rash guard. But the more and more I got to wear them, it's actually all I wear now is just the Globetrotter rash guards because it got the rubber band on the bottom, so it doesn't
Rice.
slide on you,
Yeah.
right? It stays in place. That was something completely new to me. I never ever would have never thought of that. Like, oh, you can put a rubber band on your rash guard, keep it in place.
Right. Yeah,
But yeah,
and I find a lot of people, especially the really tall kind of guys, the really tall,
yeah,
slim guys that have to get, you know, they can't go up too many sizes to try to get the length. Um,
yeah,
so for them, the elastic band on the bottom is perfect because it won't be rising on them. Then they're walking around with a, you know, a crop top
yeah,
shirt.
yeah. Showing
Um,
off their six pack they wish they had. Yeah,
right. And
um,
even for females, like for me, you know, when you have to like keep pulling your crap down, you know, all your shirt or whatever,
yeah,
it's like when it has that band, it's so much easier because it doesn't rise up as much or at all.
yeah, and yeah. And see, and before this, I was using the Under Armour superhero series compression tops. Right, I love them, but they would ride up on me after a while, right? And so I switched over to the Globetrotters rash guards, and they stayed. It was a lot more comfortable, so I just use those all the time now. So if you're going be doing a lot of Nogi, look for similar rash guard. You know, one that has like a rubber bottom, like rubber bands
It's like
around keeping them
it's in like an
in place.
elastic band.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shorts. Uh, I've recently gotten into some shorts I really love. It's my friend Kent Peters of uh, Zombie Proof BJJ. He has a brand called Supernatural Survival Gear. He has got some crazy designs, but the fit to his pants, I mean his shorts, are amazing. Right? He does some of the best Nogi clothes out there right now. you see them all over the place. Everyone's buying them up online and taking pictures with them. All the 10th Planet guys love it. Yeah, I'm loving it. You know, so the shorts are really lightweight. They're similar to those MMA shorts that have that, it's got the drawstring and then it's got that Velcro cover over
Oh,
top of it.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's very lightweight. It's like half the weight that I've dealt with most of the other shorts like that. I haven't been with a lot of brands, so I don't know, who else has really lightweight shorts like this. But you can grab a couple of those in the rash guards, and that is basically, you can throw that in a carry-on and have 2-3 days worth of Nogi gear with you, right?
Yeah.
So
You see,
it's
I'm more
it's
of
pretty awesome.
a spats kind of girl. I don't. I feel like,
Ah, see.
yeah, I feel like shorts are a little bit like it doesn't matter which ones I get. They're always gonna be a bit, uh, like I don't know. They hold me back. Restrictive, is that a word? Yeah, they're
It
very
could be, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So I like spats, and my game is very much half guard, and
Yeah.
I need to be able to move. And that's the thing. Like, I, talking about half guard, I don't know how Eddie does it with key
And
pants.
pant. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know. I don't get it myself. Maybe he's got just some amazing fitting pants or something. But yeah, I get you're saying. I find in the shorts I wear, I don't have any restriction like that. My thing about spats personally is I have my legs fully tattooed, so why do I want to cover that up?
yeah, I got you.
I want to show off, you know. But yeah, there are some great spats out there that people are wearing, and you know,
And if
I'm
I
not
do
one of them.
have to wear shorts for Nogi, I tend to just stick to Under Armour. I even my rash guards, like
Okay.
I have a couple. I have more than I should actually. Jiu-jitsu rash guards. I'm actually waiting for one. That's I have a feeling it's about to be my favorite one, but I tend to just stick to Under Armour stuff. And the shorts, the Under Armour shorts are the only ones that I'll do Nogi with because they are super light, like lighter than swim trunks. I'm not talking about like basketball shorts. Uh, I don't know which. I don't know if they have additions or names to them or anything like that, but they're
Oh,
sort of
sure, there's all kinds of different.
like running shorts almost, like the track shorts, the
Okay.
short ones.
Okay. Yeah.
And those are the ones I tend to use for Nogi. So when I do travel, I'll take maybe one, maybe two spats, and then I'll take two of those shorts because then right away I have 4 days worth of um Nogi training gear, and the shorts for me double as swim trunks as well.
Yeah. 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 Definitely. Same with me with the shorts. I'll bring two gis, two pairs of shorts. Actually, I bring three pairs of shorts, so I have one around to sit around in the hotel or hostel or whatever, and two to train in. But and then like 4 or 5 rash guards, and that is the max, right? Two, three shorts, two gis, 5 rash guards. If you wear pet spats in there, or whatever, then that is your max. You shouldn't. There's no way you should need any more than that. Um, even if you can carry more, don't. you know um, Save the space for some souvenirs or something.
Oh
You
yeah.
really won't need any more gear than that. That's I think that's kind of what they do for the Globetrotters camps, right? Is two gis and two no gi, and you should be able to make it through the week. Okay, right?
Right.
When you're traveling, you shouldn't have to wear any more than that. You can actually even bring it down, so you're probably not going to be training as much as you would at the Globetrotters camps. So, one gi and two pairs of nogi. So
So
what do you bring for shirts for non jujitsu clothes?
typically, I am an overpacker. I mean,
Okay.
obviously, right? Most girls are. We overpack. I mean, I'm talking about I even take 3 different pairs of shoes. Um, so on my last trip, I decided I've been reading this book about minimalism. And I was like, you know what? It's always so stressful. Every part of my trip is always so stressful because I have to be carrying all this freaking clothes around, and it's heavy. So I decided to take a couple of my shirts, my brand shirts, and I stuck to neutral colors, black and white and gray.
Yeah.
So I had, I think, like 5 shirts in total. And then I was gonna take some jeans, but for this specific trip, I decided something told me don't take them, save the space. So I decided to just take shorts, and then a couple, because I was gonna be I was in Thailand, so I was gonna be visiting a couple temples and stuff. So I took, my
like a sarong or something, right?
well, they're called drop crotch pants.
Oh, yeah. I saw those. Yeah.
I don't know why I'm obsessed with those. I've been obsessed with them for like a year and a half now or two, and I don't think they're going away from me. But my cousin hates them. He hates them so bad. I took him on a trip, and I was trying to buy some, and he just kept like, I would put them in my cart, and then I would turn around, and they were gone, and I was like, what's going on? And he was like, I hate those pants. Like, why are you buying them? And I'm like, because I love them. They're comfortable. So, I'll pack stuff. Like, I did that this time. I took 2 pairs of shoes, my hiking shoes, which I use for everything else, and then just 1 pair of like nice dress shoes in case I went out or something.
Nice dress shoes. Living in luxury.
Well, I mean, I'm not talking about wedding dress shoes. I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna go to the club with like my muddy shoes that have been in elephant poop all day. So, and that's it. That's all I took. Plus my training gear, which I actually only took my gi top. I took everything, and then 4 days later, I had the chance to get rid of the pants, and I went ahead and did that because everywhere I was going to train, they were only training Nogi. So I figured, what's the point of having it,
Yeah.
But
See,
yeah.
Sorry.
No, I was gonna say, but I kept it light this time. My back, and then I took a backpack, which I don't know if I'm convinced by it yet. I still like a carry-on, but I took a backpack, and you know what? I'm pretty pleased. Like, I got to wash out there. It wasn't a big of a hassle as I thought it was going to be to try to do laundry and all that. So it worked out. And next couple of trips, I'm going to keep doing the same thing and see how much. I'm pretty sure there's still some stuff I can get rid of that I don't need to pack.
Oh yeah.
But we'll see.
Definitely. I mean, we can always, cut it down more and more. Start, doing laundry less and less. No, so you were saying you use a backpack rather than a carry-on? You mean like those like suitcase carry-ons, right?
Yeah, like the roller suitcase.
Yeah. See, I've never been sold on those. Just for the fact the case itself, you're looking like that already adds weight to everything before you've even added anything into it. So you're already at a limitation on how much you can put in there, right?
Right.
And also it's just easier for me to carry something by throwing it on my back than it is to drag it down the street, right? Because most places I went to, it's not the best ground to be rolling something on, right? Like, not everywhere you go has nice sidewalks to walk down.
Right.
So, to me, and also, military background and all, it was just, so much more normal for me to throw 50 pounds on my back and go, right? So.
Well, you see, and that's what I took. I took a tactical backpack, which was supposed to be a lot better for my back. And maybe I'm just weak. I don't know what was going on with me. I was being a little bitch or something, because the first time I packed I don't know if you recall when I was like talking to you back and forth during that time, but the first time I tried to leave to Thailand, my bag was like at
Yeah.
40 pounds, I think. And I was like,
Okay.
really? 40 pounds? Like, I thought it was a lot more because it felt really heavy. Then, when I finally got my visa to leave, I actually came back home, repacked, and decided to leave a couple things, like a couple extra shoes. No, I'm kidding. Just the jeans and a couple stuff. And so my backpack was actually lighter. It was like at, I don't know, I think it was like 25 to 30 pounds.
Nice.
And somehow it still felt heavy. So I was like,
well, so it all depends on how you have it strapped up, right? Because what you want actually, when you're wearing a backpack, you want it looser on your shoulders and tighter on your hips. You want it to actually kind of fall back a bit, so it's angled, so it's actually riding up on your hips rather than holding up on your shoulders, right? Because the tighter it is on your shoulders, the more it hurts your shoulders, or it really makes you feel like when you're carrying that weight, right? But if you have that angle, now it's resting against your hips, right? And it's a lot easier to carry. It's something I learned when I was in the military, that and I'm sure anyone who does a lot of hiking has learned this along the way as well, of how to properly strap up a backpack, because I tell you, it makes a huge difference. I remember doing one hike with everything just as tight as can be. I'm just going to put it as tight as it can be against my back and against my shoulders, and it killed. It pinched my shoulders, it killed my back, and then someone told me, no, make it weird, like make it looser, have it as this slant, carry it on off your hips, and I re-strapped it, and it was like night and day. It was like all of a sudden, like my backpack was now empty. It was crazy. You can carry that forever.
Yeah, so okay, maybe I wasn't putting on my waist strap. I wasn't using the waist strap. It has it. I just,
Yeah. It's a big difference. Big difference. So all the people out there, if you want to wear a backpack, learn how to strap it up, and you will save your back for rolling. Especially if you're rolling and hurt your back anyways, you don't want to be re-hurting your back traveling, or you want to save it for hurting during rolling. However this goes. Anyways, yeah. How many days worth of clothes did you bring? Like, I personally, I was always trying to keep it down to about 4, but I kept picking up like souvenir shirts. So every once in a while, I'd have to mail some home, because I'd end up like packing my bag and like, why is it so packed? And then realized I got like 9 shirts somehow from other gyms and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I should probably send these home.
And
I got like 20 shirts.
And hear people say that women, buy too many souvenirs and pack too much stuff. Look at this guy, 9 shirts. No, I took.
Hey, you don't want to know about what I did in Tokyo, okay? I bought way too much stuff in Tokyo.
I took, I think, 4 days worth of shirts. Then my sister, who met up with me in Thailand, actually bought me a shirt. She like brought it with her, and then I bought a shirt out there. So, I guess I had, what's that, 6? Yeah, 6 shirts in total. But then one of them kind of got ruined because I used it to take a mud bath with elephants, and
I saw that picture.
yeah, and I decided to use a white one. I thought it would be fun, but it didn't stain the way I wanted it to stain. Therefore, it just looked dirty.
It would be like, yeah.
It was supposed to be art. But yeah, so I ended up getting rid of one out there, and came back with
So I mean, 4 days is pretty safe. I mean, if you want to live life on the edge, you can cut it down a bit more, like down to 3 or 2. But
nah,
4 days, I think 4 days is a safe bet to bring along, so you don't have to, wear shirts a few times before washing them again. But,
and that was nearly a 20-day trip. When I was when I had traveled up to Hamburg, I took a huge suitcase with me. Granted, I was not checking it in or anything, but I still took a
Yeah,
huge suitcase. One of those like that's like the 50-pound suitcase that you can check in.
yeah,
And I mean, I pretty much had my entire well, almost my entire closet in there as far as jiu-jitsu clothes goes. And I think ended up using like 1/3 of that. Because
huh,
that, I would just wash and like, the other stuff is still neatly folded. So what's the point of unfolding it? So I just kept washing, using, washing, the same stuff.
yeah.
Um, but now the second time I went and I stayed at an Airbnb that did not have uh, a laundry place, and I frankly did not feel like it was super cold during that time, so I did not want to be like walking everywhere with a bag of clothes trying to wash it. So at that time, I did use a lot more clothes because I would wait like till the end of the week to wash my clothes.
Mm. Yeah, see, and I never had a problem with anywhere like having to do laundry. Like, I you pretty much do laundry anytime that I was traveling, depending on how much I wanted to spend for it, right? I mean, some places, you know, you didn't really have much of an option. There is the local laundromat and it's expensive, and that's or there's nothing, right? Other places it's like, well, you're staying at a friend's house and they have laundry at their place, so do it whenever. Um, so yeah, I never found as limited to do laundry, other than by how much it would cost. And sometimes I would kind of look at it and see like, okay, I'm at this place right now and it costs this much to do laundry. My next destination is a bit cheaper. Maybe I'll hold off and just do laundry the first day there and see if I can get cheaper laundry, right? But
Gotcha.
that's about it. Um, what about bathroom stuff? I personally, this is my hack. Once in a while, I stayed in a hotel. Mostly, it was all just hostels. So we'll say maybe once a month, not even once every 2 months. I might check in for one night at a hotel, and I I would steal all the soap.
Oh, the
So I
toiletries.
had I grab a roll of toilet paper. I always had a roll of toilet paper with me in my bag just in case I needed it. Um, but all the small soaps, all the little bars of soaps and the shampoos and stuff, I put those in a Ziploc bag and had those in my backpack. And I gotta be honest, like half my trip was just using these little wee bars of soaps that I stole from hotels.
Well, I'm a girl, so I think we had talked about this before,
Yeah,
but
yeah, you have hair. I shaved my hair off.
so I need a little extra stuff, but again, typically, and it's weird on this part, I am the one that packs the minimum. What do I need to make sure I'm clean and survive? My
Hmm.
spouse on the other hand will pack like I don't even know. It's sometimes I'm looking at it and I'm like, what? Why would you bring this? But then we're out on a trip, and then I realize, oh, you know what? I kind of need that. Good thing you brought it. So,
Yeah.
and it's random stuff like medicine, for example. Those are things you want to always take with you on trips too. Like,
Hmm.
don't feel like I don't know. For me personally, I feel I'd rather have it with me than to have to be looking for it the day of. Like if I don't know if I
Yeah.
hurt myself during training or something and I need an anti-inflammatory or whatever, I
Yeah.
rather have it with me. So medicine now I always carry, and usually painkillers, allergy medicine. I used to never have allergies until I moved out of Germany. Now everything always causes me allergies.
I uh I always I was getting care packages the odd time from my mom, and so I always made sure I was stocked up on wet wipes, tea tree oil, and those. chewable pills, the Pepto
Yeah.
pills, the
Mhm.
Pepto Bismol, right? It's all your stomach kind of thing. So those things, and um, you know, those Tylenol cold and sinus pills kind of thing, right? But yeah, I was always making sure that for training, like those the wet wipes and the tea tree oil, because like you go to some places they don't have a shower. Well, if you're be out for a while, you don't want to have to wait until you get back to the hospital to shower. So I'd wipe myself down with the wet wipes, right? Uh, Throw a few drops of tea tree oil on, kind of thing.
Mhm.
Um, and having the pills around just in case I ever got sick, or stomach wasn't doing well, kind of thing.
You
Wasn't
know,
dealing with
the
local food or
the Pepto chewable capsules you're talking about, I used to always have to take
yeah,
them with me because I would always get like weird acid reflux and stuff like
stomach
that.
issues. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah.
I remember when I was in Scotland, I found this. We were I was like at the farmers market or something like that, and I found a Mexican place that was serving this specific like Hispanic dish. Everybody calls it different. That's why I'm not really trying to say the name of it, but a lot of people call it different things. Anyway, I hadn't had it in like I don't know 2 3 years. I was going crazy when I saw them. I had one and it was so freaking good. I went and had another one, and we're talking about it. Almost looks okay. It's called. Some people call it arepas. Mexicans call it gorditas. This to you probably sounds like what, but it's almost like I don't even know, dude. I don't even know how to describe it to you. It's something delicious. Whenever we see each other again, I'm gonna find a place for you to try it at. But anyway, it's almost like having like a little.
should I bring these? Should I bring these pills along then?
Well, I think it was just the time I was sick. I was sick. I didn't know yet. I didn't know I was sick yet. Um,
Yeah.
but I, it's almost like a little burger, but don't think burger. It's just a slice, and that's how you grab it. So.
Too late. It's too late. No, I'm just making Mexican burgers. Okay.
Don't let Anna hear you say that because burgers
Yeah,
aren't from
I know.
Mexico.
I know.
But anyway, so I had one, and one's supposed to be
Yeah.
again like a small burger, right? So,
Yeah.
but for some, they was just so good, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna have another one, dude. I think I had like 2.5 of them, and then later on that day, I was at
That's all.
home. I was at home, and I was hurting so bad, and I was
Yeah,
like,
I wonder why.
right. And it was getting late and it wasn't passing, and I was like, man, I can't lay down because I feel like the food's not traveling.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I set up the whole night. Pretty much I slept sitting down, and I was in so much pain, and I was like, what the, like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But at this time I did not believe in overpacking medicine or anything like that, so I decided not to take them. So I suffered through it. Now this past trip, my sister kept having the same issues I was having. So with the food, like she just kept having like acid reflux and stuff, and it was like she always carries medicine with her.
Yeah.
I mean, she's in the medical field, so it's just in her nature, I guess. And she kept complaining about it. I'm like, well, did you already take something? She was like, yeah, it's not working. Like I've taken 2 like tablets of some crap, and she's like, it's not working. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna give you my little secret stash of my remedy, and let's see if it works. So I gave her some Pepto, and like 30 minutes later, she's like, oh, I feel so good now. Like it actually worked. I'm like, yes, like those Pepto capsule things, dude, are
Yeah,
the bomb.
Yeah, I have the tubal tabs, right? The like almost like Tums, right? They're so compact to bring. I'm always stocked up on them. That I use them whenever. I've had a lot of problems. A lot of times where either sometimes the local water didn't agree with me at first, or I went off and decided to eat at a local place, and maybe that food didn't agree with me. Sometimes you just need it, right? For those listening who don't know what we're talking about, outside of North America, I think it is, like in Europe, it's called bismuth, right? So bismuth pills is what you're looking for. Make sure and stock up on those. Right, that's the actual um, the name. Right, Pepto Bismol is the brand name, but it's actually bismuth. Right,
Oh,
that
is it?
pink stuff.
I didn't even know. I
Yeah, yeah.
just
Oh, yeah. I had a list. That's another thing. I had a list. All the brand names we know of, with Tylenol, Advil, Pepto, all that stuff. I actually looked up the actual ingredient. So acetaminophen and ibuprofen and bismuth, all that stuff, so that I knew the names of what to go and look for, rather than just I can't walk in and be like, hey, I need Tylenol, and and here I am in Thailand. And they're like, what?
yeah, right.
Yeah. So
Well, look at
that was
that.
another thing.
You see, like that's why medicine. I rather take it with me because it's so.
Yeah.
The medical terms. I find that they're very common. Like whatever you call it in America is going to be like the actual medicine is going to be the same thing that you're looking for in Europe or Asia. You know.
Yeah. Sometimes there was rather than geez, what was it? A paramedicine or something like that. Sinus medication that I needed, because I had a cold, and Christiana, Giles and Christiana in Glasgow, they set me up. She was telling me when I forget where I was. I think it was in Spain, and she was like, "Okay, you need to go to the pharmacy and ask for this," and that kind of saved my life. I was like, I don't know what this is, but this is what I need, and they're like, okay, no problem.
Nice.
So yeah, because I didn't know what to call it. I didn't like that was one of the things I didn't know. So it's helpful. Having social media and having friends in the medical field very, very much helps you out when you're traveling.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah. I would bring those things. Always make sure I had a few things. Gravel sometimes. I had gravel. I hardly ever used it. I don't really need it too often. But I know some people, when they're traveling, they get motion sickness.
Oh
So
yeah,
they need it.
I always have that too. Like I call
See,
it the brand I use is called oh crap, I just forgot. Dramamine? Yeah, Dramamine.
German. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. There's all different kinds of brands out there. I don't know the actual ingredients it is, but yeah, that's it's I use it. I use it once when I was leaving Koh Tao to go to Bangkok. It was because it was a rocky, like a choppy day on the water. So I took it, but I took it too soon for going on the ferry. And luckily, the ferry wasn't so bad, so it didn't bug me too much. But the gravel didn't kick in until after we got on the land. So I'm sitting here trying not to fall asleep, waiting for the bus because I didn't want to miss the bus, right?
Okay, so I didn't know that it made you sleepy.
Yeah,
We had no
See,
idea.
I've always known that. I've always known that. Yeah, growing up, that's like my friends would take that and just pass out on the car ride, right? Because they didn't want to sit there for 4 hours.
You see,
Yeah,
because on the car, I always fall asleep regardless. Like,
yeah,
that's just, I'm still that baby, I guess, that you just put in
yeah.
the
You
car and
get
they
that.
knock out. So,
Yeah, the vibrations of the motor
right.
just
But,
put you to
like,
sleep. Yeah.
for the boats and stuff, I would always have to take it. And I don't recall ever getting sleepy. This last time, though, I had to take one. I think we were we were going somewhere as well.
Mm.
I think we were going from like Sukhothai to Chiang Mai or something like that. I think that was the time I took it, and apparently, the bus driver was like a crazy driver, a super crazy
Oh
driver,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
I slept through the whole thing. My sister has
Me
videos
too.
of me just like literally passed out, and I'm like,
That's how I got through. That's how I got through Thailand. Was I slept through 8 hours on the bus because I was up all night the night the first time I took it, and I took the gravel the second time, and I slept through it all. But it was like sleeping on a roller coaster ride. Yeah.
And I remember it going from London to, or from the UK to back to mainland, I guess you'd call it, like European mainland.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I would always have to take it as well because the ferry rides were always really crappy for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
but
See, I don't get seasick. I don't get motion sickness that often, so I hardly ever took it. But I had it just in case.
oh, dude, I get sick with an elevator ride. That's why I like hardly
Yeah.
ever. Yeah, I.
Well, I was on the ships before, so I'm used to it.
Oh,
So.
that's right. That's right. So, I guess just a couple of things to keep in mind if you have injuries. I tend to take
Yeah.
like my knee braces with me and elbow braces all the time, just because even if I'm just hiking around, sometimes I have that nagging pain that will come back, and I just need to take care of it by putting a brace on. Um,
Yeah, and having those neoprene braces, those are kind of sleeves. If you have a day where you have an aching elbow or ankle or knee or whatever, you can throw those on. Those are always good to have. I had them. I hardly ever wear them, but other than the one on my knee, but I always had them with me just in case. So yeah.
I haven't figured out exactly which brands out there are the ones the best for me. I'm still doing the trial and error thing. I've heard of there's a German brand that's supposed to be really good. I've heard from multiple different people, but they're freaking expensive. So I just haven't found my way
Yeah,
to buying
I
that.
really, I really think it's up to when you're looking at soft braces. I think it's really up to personal preference on your own fit and feel for it, and also your own price range. When you're thinking about the hard braces, the actual like cast like hard braces, um, there's that there's that one big brand out there that I can't remember the name of, but that's like top of the line stuff that everyone gets for sports.
So yeah.
Um, yeah,
So
and
and
tape.
yeah, tape. I use different brands for different, depending how my fingers are feeling, whether I need something thicker or smaller. But yeah, I always have at least one roll of tape with me. Um,
See, I do not tape up my fingers. I don't. Maybe I'm just too stubborn, but I never tape up my fingers and my hands. I hardly ever tape up anything, to be honest. Uh, but I have it around a lot. I always have rolls of tape because I have needed to use it for other things. Like I roll around in my sleep, so I tape in my earplugs at night. Um, I always have tape with me for different things, and I tell you, it's also a great way to make friends at the gym. If you show up and you have tape and someone needs it, you know, you just got an icebreaker to meet them, right?
oh, that's
Um,
cool. Yeah.
but yeah, so you never know when or where you're going to need tape. So I always had them. Most commonly for me personally, when I'd have scratches or something, like I have a band-aid on,
Wait,
right?
so you're
Uh,
telling me your icebreaker is not your holiday Christmas card?
no. The holiday Christmas cards, after you've already accepted my friendship,
Oh,
and
I see.
now, yeah,
I don't know
now it's
why. I don't know why I figured you walking around with a bow on your crotch and just saying, "Hey, my name's Rob."
yeah. That's not that's well, maybe that's the bar crawl, you know.
That's too funny. Well, I'm sure we missed a lot of gear names out there, or must. I'm sure we'll talk about it later on as well. There's all kinds of material to figure out when it comes to gear, uh, especially backpacks. There's different kinds of backpacks out there that you want to try on. Like Rob was saying, you have to make sure you put it on properly. Roller suitcases. There's a gazillion out there, so just go find the one that you think fits you the best. geese and,
Yeah.
clothes wise, especially with clothes, we always have these ideas of perfect Instagram pictures that we want to make sure we have with the perfect outfit, but um don't worry about the outfit too much. The picture's going to be there. And if not,
It's all about the winning smile in my case. It's all about that winning smile, you know?
the what?
Just enjoy your time.
Yeah,
Your winning
exactly.
smile. Just enjoy your time, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's where I was heading to, like just forget about all that and make sure you're going to enjoy your trip. Enjoy your time traveling. So, if overpacking and having all these crazy amount of shoes like I used to have is going to be, a hassle, then forget about it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like
exactly.
like my friends up there in the northeast say, forget about it.
Forget about it.
But
Yeah, no, I think we have a good outline that we covered in this of what to bring, but ultimately it does come down to what you're going, what your aim is to go. I mean, if you're doing a lot more sports, more hiking, skiing, all that stuff, you're gonna have to bring a lot more other things. Um, but it all goes down to your own personal situation. But I think we covered a lot on exactly how to start off, anyways, on how to start cutting down what to bring.
yeah, so if you have any tips that we might have missed or ideas that you think we should try, brands you think we should try, or whatever's your favorite brand to travel
Yeah,
with,
yeah.
let us know because we'd like to try out different ways of traveling and getting more things for less weight, uh, and such. And stay tuned for the next episode, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah. So then, just roll with it.